My mom left me at the neighbor's and disappeared. 20 years later she begged for help. But I gave her an answer that she could never forget. I'm a 25-year-old guy named Max. My biological mother, Anna, had me when she was 22. At first, she was really excited to be a mom, but after I was born, she realized that taking care of a baby wasn't as easy or fun as she thought it would be. Babies aren't just dolls you can dress up and play with, they need a lot of attention and care. From the few fuzzy memories I have of Anna, she was never warm or loving toward me. The strongest memory I have is of her screaming at me, though I can't remember what it was about. Anna would often leave me with my grandparents or my Auntie Lisa so she could go out and party. This happened so often that my grandparents and auntie eventually told Anna they couldn't be her full-time daycare anymore and that she needed to get her act together and be a real parent. One day, when I was about 4 years old, Anna asked our neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Collins, to watch me for an hour and then left. She didn't come back for days. The Collins were really worried, so they called Child Protective Services. CPS intervened, and my Auntie Lisa ended up adopting me. I grew up thinking she was my real mom. Growing up, Auntie Lisa always took great care of me. She treated me like her own son, and my grandparents were very loving, too. They always made me feel special and loved, even though I sometimes felt like something was missing. My cousin Jake, who was around my age, lived with us, too. We were more like brothers than cousins. When I turned 18, I was going through some old family documents in the attic when I found papers that revealed Auntie Lisa had adopted me. I was shocked and confused. I confronted her and my grandparents, and they told me the truth about Anna. They explained how Anna had abandoned me and how Auntie Lisa stepped in to give me a stable home. It was a lot to take in, but I understood why they hadn't told me sooner. They didn't want me to feel unwanted. As the years went by, I tried not to think too much about Anna. I focused on my studies and, later, on my career. I did well in school and got a great job in computer science. I met a wonderful woman named Emily, and we got engaged. Life was going really well for me. Then, out of the blue, Anna reached out to me through social media. She sent me a message explaining who she was and asked if we could meet so she could explain everything. I was hesitant but also curious. I looked at her social media profile and saw that she had a husband, 2 little girls, and seemed to have a good job. She didn't want me to come to her home because her husband didn't know she had other children. I was really upset that Anna had never visited me, even though she was doing fine, but I still decided to meet her at a coffee shop she suggested. When we met, Anna insisted that I call her mom and started talking about how proud she was of my success. She mentioned my flourishing computer science career and my engagement to Emily, but it felt like she was fishing for something. The conversation took a turn when Anna started hinting at financial struggles and how proud she was of me for being successful. It made me think she wanted money or favors from me. I felt angry and told her I wasn't interested in having a relationship with her. I said I didn't want to be used by her. She had abandoned me and was embarrassed by me because she never told her husband about me. I thought she was only trying to get back into my life because she wanted something from me. Anna insisted that she wasn't trying to use me, but I didn't believe her. I told her she should focus on the 2 kids she didn't abandon and accept that I would never care about her. Mom abandons me. Anna started crying, but I didn't care and left her at the coffee shop. After that meeting, things got even more complicated. Anna started sending me long messages, trying to explain herself and asking for another chance. She even tried contacting Auntie Lisa and my grandparents to get them to convince me to talk to her. My family supported me and told Anna to respect my decision, but the whole situation was very stressful. Then, one day, I received a message from Anna's husband, John. He had found out about me and was furious that Anna had kept such a big secret from him. He asked to meet me, wanting to know more about his wife's past. I was reluctant but agreed to meet him. During our meeting, John told me that Anna had always been a bit secretive, but he never expected something like this. He apologized for her behavior and told me that he understood if I didn't want to have any contact with her. Meanwhile, Emily, my fiancée, was very supportive throughout this ordeal. She suggested that I see a therapist to help process my feelings about Anna. I took her advice and started seeing Dr. Miller, a kind and understanding therapist. Dr. Miller helped me work through my anger and confusion about my biological mother. He helped me see that it was okay to feel hurt and that I didn't have to force a relationship with Anna if I didn't want to. Just when I thought things were settling down, another shocking event happened. I found out that Anna had been trying to contact Jake, my cousin, and convince him to talk to me on her behalf. Jake told me that she had even tried to visit him at his workplace. This was the last straw for me. I felt like Anna was crossing too many boundaries. I decided to write a heartfelt letter to Anna, explaining everything I felt. I told her how much she had hurt me by abandoning me and how difficult it was to grow up feeling unwanted. I told her that I appreciated her attempts to reach out, but I needed space and time to heal. I asked her to respect my wishes and not contact me or my family anymore. After sending the letter, things finally started to calm down. Anna respected my request and stopped trying to contact me. I continued my therapy sessions with Dr. Miller, and over time, I felt more at peace with my decision. I focused on my relationship with Emily and our upcoming wedding. One day, while visiting my grandparents, my grandmother shared a story I had never heard before. She told me about a time when Anna was very young and how she had always struggled with responsibility. My grandparents had tried to help her, but Anna had always been a free spirit, more interested in partying than taking care of a child. This story didn't excuse her behavior, but it helped me understand a bit more about her, not the idiot. If Anna shows she has truly changed, then that means she was always capable of change, but I just wasn't worth changing for. Yeah, she might have changed, but where was she in your life over the years that she had changed? You don't owe her anything. She didn't raise you. You're allowed to feel however you want about her. This is absolutely incorrect. Also, she didn't change, okay? It sounds like your aunt, Auntie Lisa, did a great job raising you. You're successful, and you don't let people who did damage to you waltz back in and take advantage of you. Seems like you have your life pretty well put together. You are absolutely not the idiot for not letting her mess it up. She didn't want you to come over because her new family didn't know about you and also wanted to have a secret relationship with you and wanted you to call her mom. These two don't add up. Essentially, she's trying to be sneaky with her real family because, of course, she doesn't want them to know her true colors. Please abandon this woman the same way she abandoned you. I'll go as far as to say you were pretty generous in the way you treated her. Your mom was 22 when she had you and 26 when she walked out on you. At that age, no one is that immature not to know the consequences of leaving your kid behind and the heartbreak that causes. 21 years passed where she could have reached out to you. 21 years, my dude. You shouldn't feel sorry for what you said, and you don't owe her anything. After all the back and forth, the emotional upheaval, and trying to establish boundaries with Anna, I got a message on Facebook that flipped everything upside down. It was from one of Anna's kids, my half-sibling. I hadn't had much contact with them before, so this was a surprise. The message had some shocking news that was hard to digest. In the message, my half-sibling accused me of being selfish for not helping Anna in a way I never expected. Apparently, Anna needs a kidney transplant, and she had been hoping I would be a potential donor. Yeah, you read that right. The message was pleading, calling me out for not stepping up to save their mom. The tone was desperate but also kind of accusatory, like I was some villain for not offering up an organ to someone who had been a stranger to me most of my life. Reading that message felt like getting punched in the gut. Here I was, thinking Anna was reaching out to make amends and maybe forge some sort of relationship, but this? It felt like another manipulation, but on a whole new level. The worst part was how it involved her kids. That just didn't sit right with me. It felt so unfair to them and to me. Yeah, but also just incredibly sad. How had things gotten to this point? Where does one even begin to process this kind of revelation? I talked to Emily, my fiancée, about it. She was as shocked as I was but supportive as ever. She agreed that this situation was way out of normal and advised caution in how we proceeded. I needed answers. I decided to confront Anna directly. We met at the same coffee shop as before, and I asked her point blank about the kidney situation. The conversation was tense. At first, she tried to skirt around it, playing the sympathy card, talking about her health issues. But when I pushed, she finally admitted it. She was hoping I'd be a match and willing to donate. I felt so many things at once: betrayal, confusion, anger. I told her how wrong it was to try to use me like this, especially through her kids. The whole meeting was emotionally charged, and by the end, I was just drained. I walked away from that encounter knowing that any chance of a meaningful relationship was probably gone forever. This whole ordeal made me reevaluate a lot of things about family and obligation. I found myself questioning the very nature of biological ties and what they obligated me to. I was torn because, on one hand, here was a human being in need, a human being who also happened to be my biological mother. But on the other hand, there was this massive history of neglect, abandonment, and now manipulation. I talked a lot with my therapist, Dr. Miller, about it. He helped me sort through my feelings without judgment. We discussed the ethics and emotional impact of the situation, and he offered some much-needed clarity. In the end, I decided against getting tested to see if I was a match. It was a tough choice, and I didn't make it lightly. I had to consider my own mental and emotional well-being, and I realized that I couldn't go through with it, not with all the emotional strings and history attached. A few days after our intense conversation, I got a call from Anna. I was hesitant to answer, but I figured maybe she had some closure to offer or something. Instead, she went straight to business. She and her husband, John, wanted to offer me money for my kidney. Yeah, you heard that right, money, as if my kidney was just some spare part I could auction off to the highest bidder. Anna tried to sweeten the deal by throwing in all kinds of numbers, talking about how this could set me up financially, help me out with any debt, or fund future plans. The whole conversation felt so surreal, like, was she seriously trying to buy an organ from me? Then came the emotional manipulation. Anna laid it on thick. She kept saying, "You are my blood. You should help me," as if sharing DNA obligated me to give up part of my body. It was so manipulative, and honestly, it made me pretty angry. How could she think it was okay to just expect that from me after everything? John was on the call, too, backing up everything Anna said. It seemed like they had rehearsed their pitch, each chiming in about the benefits of me helping out, the risks being minimal, and how it was a win-win situation. The way they tag-teamed it made the whole thing feel even more transactional. I couldn't believe these were the people I was supposed to consider family. I shut it down firmly. I told them that my organs weren't for sale and that it was pretty messed up for them to even suggest it. I made it clear that this wasn't just a simple business transaction. It was my life, my health, and no amount of money could make me compromise on that. I ended the call pretty abruptly because, honestly, what more was there to say? After hanging up, the weight of the conversation really hit me. It's one thing to know intellectually that someone sees you as a means to an end, but it's another to hear it so explicitly. I spent a long time just processing how deep the manipulation went and how desperate they must have been to even propose such a thing. I talked it over with Emily, and she was as shocked as I was but also super supportive. She helped me sort through the anger and betrayal to get to a place where I could just pity them for being so lost in their own needs that they couldn't see how wrong their actions were. So, here's where I'm at now. I've decided to cut all communication with Anna and John. No calls, no messages, no social media, nothing. I need to protect my peace and mental health. It's been a tough decision, especially knowing that Anna is in a bad place health-wise, but I've learned that I need to prioritize my own well-being. I've also been leaning on my support network more than ever, talking to friends, spending quality time with Emily, and just trying to reinforce the positive relationships in my life. I'm also sticking with therapy because, man, this is a lot to unpack. As for the future, I'm focusing on the good stuff, my upcoming wedding with Emily, my career, and just enjoying the day-to-day without the shadow of family drama looming over me. It's not easy, and some days are harder than others, but I'm learning that I have the strength to get through even the toughest times. Just when I thought things with Anna couldn't spiral further out of control, she took it to a whole new level. I'm talking major drama that spilled over into my professional life. It started with a call from my boss last Tuesday. I figured it was just a regular check-in, but the tone was off from the get-go. He sounded concerned, confused, and a bit annoyed. Turns out, Anna had somehow found his contact information, still figuring that part out, and decided to give him a piece of her mind about me, and not in a good way. She threw every accusation you can think of at me. She told my boss that I was involved in drugs, that I was unreliable, and that I had serious behavioral problems that could jeopardize the company. Absolutely wild stuff, and none of it true. She painted this picture of me as some sort of high-risk employee that they needed to reconsider having on their team. I was floored, like my jaw hit the floor. After the shock wore off, I got really angry. How dare she try to mess with my livelihood? This isn't just some family drama anymore, she's trying to ruin my reputation and career. I felt so betrayed and violated that she would go this far just to get back at me for not giving her what she wanted. I had to go into immediate damage control mode. I sat down with my boss and explained the entire situation. I told him about Anna's health condition, her desperation for a kidney donor, and how I had decided not to get involved. I explained that her reaching out to him was likely retaliation for my refusal to help her. Luckily, my boss was understanding. He was shocked, of course, but he knew me well enough to sense that the accusations didn't add up. We've worked together long enough for him to know my character and work ethic. After our conversation, he reassured me that he took the information Anna provided with a massive grain of salt, but it was still an uncomfortable situation to navigate. After calming things down at work, I spoke to a lawyer. This kind of interference in my professional life is serious, and I wanted to know what my options were. The lawyer confirmed that Anna's actions could constitute defamation and tortious interference, meaning she's intentionally trying to damage my relationship with my employer and disrupt my career. We discussed the possibility of sending a cease and desist letter to formally warn Anna against further contact or defamation. It's a big step, and I'm still weighing the pros and cons, but I'm leaning toward taking legal action if she doesn't back down. This has gone too far, and it feels necessary to put some legal muscle behind my demand for her to stop. This whole ordeal has taken a significant emotional toll on me. It's one thing dealing with personal attacks, but when someone tries to take down your professional life, it hits differently. I've been trying to keep a cool head at work and not let this affect my performance, but it's tough. Nights have been hard, there's a lot of tossing and turning, just replaying things over in my mind. Through all of this, Emily has been my rock. She's been incredibly supportive, helping me process my feelings and just being there to listen whenever I need to vent. My friends and colleagues have also rallied around me, offering their support and reassuring me that they know the truth. Back at work, I'm doing my best to keep things professional, keep my head down, and just power through. But you better believe it's awkward. I mean, even though my boss is cool about it, there's this unspoken tension now. It's like everyone's wondering if there's any truth to the madness Anna spewed, and I hate that. I hate that her lies might make people doubt me. I ended up having a sit down with my team just to clear the air. I figured transparency was the best approach. I didn't dive into all the gory details, but I laid out enough so they'd get why my so-called mother might be trying to stir up trouble. They were all pretty understanding, and a few even shared their own crazy family stories, which kind of helped lighten the mood. It's weirdly comforting to know you're not the only one with a family that could star in a soap opera. Digging into the legal side of things is like opening a whole new can of worms. My lawyer has been great, walking me through what actions we can take, how we can protect my professional life, and even how to safeguard against further personal attacks. We're drafting that cease and desist letter, and I'm bracing myself for whatever comes next. If Anna thinks she can intimidate me into submission, she's got another thing coming. After all the chaos and the attempts to mess with my life, enough is enough. I'm taking control of the narrative and setting the record straight once and for all. First off, I've officially moved forward with legal action. My lawyer and I filed for a restraining order against Anna to keep her from contacting me or my employer again. We're also pursuing a defamation case because of the lies she spread about me. It's a big step, and it wasn't an easy decision, but it feels necessary to protect my reputation and peace of mind. The process has been pretty intense, gathering evidence, documenting everything, and reliving some of the moments I'd rather forget. It's tough, but it's also empowering in a way. I'm no longer just the victim of her manipulations. I'm taking a stand, showing that I won't tolerate this kind of behavior from anyone, family or not. On top of the legal stuff, I've decided to go public with the whole story. I've been pretty private about my life, especially with the messy family stuff, but after talking it over with Emily and some close friends, I realized that staying silent wasn't helping anyone, least of all me. I wrote a detailed blog post and shared it on my social media. I laid out everything, from the moment Anna left me with the neighbors as a kid, to her sudden reappearance and the twisted reasons behind it, right up to the recent chaos with her trying to sabotage my career and buy my kidney. The response has been overwhelming. People have been incredibly supportive, and it's opened up conversations about family manipulation, the ethics of organ donation, and how to deal with toxic relatives. It sparked a bigger discussion that I hope helps others who might be in similar situations feel less alone. As you can imagine, going public has caused quite a stir. Anna hasn't reacted yet, but I'm braced for it. My lawyer is keeping a close eye on everything, ready to counter any moves she might make. My family, Annie, Lisa, my grandparents, and even some extended relatives, have all been incredibly supportive. They're glad I'm standing up for myself and shedding light on a side of Anna that they've known for too long. This whole ordeal has been a roller coaster of emotions. Some days, I feel on top of the world, strong and empowered. Other days, it's a struggle not to get pulled down by the negativity and stress of it all. But every step forward in this legal battle, every supportive message I receive, strengthens my resolve to see this through. What's next? Well, I'm focusing on the legal battle ahead, making sure I'm prepared for whatever comes next. I'm also spending a lot of time with Emily, planning our wedding, which has been a beautiful distraction from all the drama. It's a reminder of the good things in my life, the future I'm building that's so much bigger than the past I'm fighting. I'm also considering doing more advocacy work around issues of family abandonment and manipulation. Sharing my story has shown me how much impact one voice can have, and I'm exploring ways to use my experience to help others. So, there you have it, the latest chapter in what I hope will be a story of overcoming and reclaiming my life. Thanks for sticking with me, for all the messages of support and advice. They've meant the world to me during this crazy time. So, diving deeper into the whole legal mess, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Working with my lawyer, setting up the case, it's like a full-time job. We're pulling together all sorts of evidence, from texts and emails to those crazy social media posts Anna made. Each tells a part of the story, and piecing it all together feels like we're building a fortress of facts. It's tedious, but kind of thrilling, too, knowing every document we file is another step towards setting things right. The legal system is a beast, there are so many rules, so many deadlines. My lawyer is great at guiding me through it all, but man, it's a lot to take in. We talk strategy like we're planning a battle. Every move is calculated, from how we present the evidence to predicting how Anna might respond. It's like chess, but with higher stakes. On the emotional front, some days are tougher than others. There are moments when I'm pumped, ready to take on the world and clear my name. Then there are nights when doubts creep in, and I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. It's draining, this constant up and down. Thank goodness for Emily and her unwavering support. She's been my rock, keeping me grounded when it feels like the world's spinning out of control. Going public was a game changer. The blog post blew up bigger than I expected. People I've never met are reaching out with their own stories, their own battles. It's both heartbreaking and inspiring to see how many others are dealing with similar issues. I've started responding to comments, sharing more of my thoughts, and engaging in this surprisingly supportive online community. It's given me a sense of purpose, a feeling that by sharing my story, I'm not just helping myself but maybe helping others, too. Of course, not everyone's on my side. There are a few trolls, some naysayers who think I'm the bad guy for airing dirty laundry or for refusing to help Anna. Dealing with them has been a challenge. I try to keep it cool, stick to the facts, and not let them get under my skin, but some days it's harder than others. You put yourself out there, and not everyone's going to be kind. Learning to deal with that has been part of the journey. With the wedding planning, work, and this legal battle, my plate is more than full. It's like juggling flaming torches. But focusing on the wedding, picking out venues, tasting cakes, choosing invitations, it's a happy distraction. It's a reminder of why I'm fighting so hard, what I'm fighting for, a future with Emily, a life of peace and happiness. Through all this, I've been doing some serious thinking about forgiveness. Can I forgive Anna? Should I? It's a tough question. Part of me knows holding on to anger won't help in the long run, but forgiving feels like letting her off the hook. It's a work in progress, figuring out what forgiveness looks like for me. Looking ahead, I'm thinking about ways to turn this experience into something positive. Maybe a podcast, a blog series, or even a community group for people dealing with family conflicts. There's a lot of healing and sharing and coming together over shared pain. It's an idea that's still taking shape, but I'm excited about the possibilities. So, that's where things stand, a mix of legal battles, personal growth, and planning for the happiest day of my life. It's been a wild ride, but I'm not stepping off yet. I've got too much to fight for, too much to say, and too much life to live. So, there I was, kicking back with Emily, finally having one of those quiet evenings you look forward to all week. We had some music on, we're just about to start a movie, and then, boom, an unexpected knock. I peek through the peephole, and my heart just sinks. Anna and John, right there on my doorstep. Of all the nerve, right? I opened the door, half expecting there must be some kind of emergency for them to show up like this, unannounced. Anna launched into this spiel almost immediately. It was this whole rehearsed apology, like she'd been practicing it the whole drive over. She's talking about how much she regrets her actions, how she's changed, and all that. John's nodding along, chipping in about their therapy sessions and personal growth or whatever. Part of me wondered if I was just being cynical, but then the bigger part of me remembered all the stunts she'd pulled before. I've got to tell you, it took every ounce of patience not to just close the door in their faces right then and there. But I let her finish because, well, I figured maybe there was a slim chance they were sincere. But it didn't take long for me to see through it. Every word just reminded me of all the times she'd manipulated situations for her benefit. How could I trust anything she said? Once they were done with their piece, I was pretty firm. I told them, thanks, but no thanks, and that they needed to leave. But then John, man, he just wouldn't have it. He steps up, like he's going to make me listen or something. That's when I felt my temper really start to flare up. Here they were, in my home, trying to force a conversation I didn't want to have. I tried to keep my cool, really, I did. I told them they were trespassing at this point, that they had no right to be there if I didn't want them there. But John was all puffed up, refusing to leave, and Anna was crying, making this whole scene. It was just too much. That's when I realized I wasn't just going to get them to leave by asking nicely. So, I made the call. Never thought I'd be the guy calling the cops on his own mother, but there we were. The police showed up pretty quick, which I was grateful for. I explained the situation, how they refused to leave and how I felt threatened. The officers were really decent about it all. They talked to Anna and John, heard their side, but ultimately, they saw it for what it was, an unwanted intrusion. After they took them away, the silence in the house was deafening. Emily and I just kind of sat there, processing the madness of it all. We talked a lot about whether there was anything else I could have done, but deep down, We both knew it had to end this way. They pushed it too far, and it wasn't safe or healthy to let that slide. The next few days were rough, not going to lie. I kept replaying the incident in my head, wondering about the what-ifs. But I also felt this strange relief, like I'd finally stood up for myself in the most definitive way possible. No more gray areas, no more maybes, it was clear-cut, and it was final. Since then, I've been leaning a lot on my support system, talking things out with friends, spending quality time with Emily, and, yes, more therapy sessions. Just trying to find that balance again, to remind myself that I did the right thing, that protecting my peace is priority number one. Looking ahead, I'm focusing on the positives, planning the wedding with Emily, focusing on work, diving into some new hobbies to keep my mind clear.